Hey everyone, welcome to the Cantrill Show. You are here, my friend, because you are a woman who is falling back in love with herself. You believe that doing something for yourself is important, but having the potential to change is not the same as actually changing. So, our goal with this show is to introduce you to women who will help you get unstuck. So please, help me in welcoming the self-love matchmaker, Kat Cantrill.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to the show. I am your host and self-love matchmaker, Kat Cantrill. I am so thrilled and honored to have you here. If you're brand new to the broadcast, I'm giving you a huge digital squeeze from me to you. Welcome to the sisterhood. Let me tell you a little bit more about this show. So our goal is to help women understand that their true match is themselves. We talk about the self-love matters that affect women the most. And I know that there's a reason why you're here. You have clicked on this episode because you are yearning for more in your life. You know that you have the potential of doing something different and amazing, but you just don't know where to begin. And here at the show, we talk about building the foundation of self-love. And so you have come to the right place, my sister. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you all for your continued reviews and ratings and comments. Ladies, I cannot again tell you how important that is to know that this show is making a difference in your life and giving you some food for thought and making you sit back and look from the outside in and saying to yourself, maybe Kat's right. Maybe I should be doing these things in my life. Yes, you should. In fact, that brings into what this episode's topic is all about. Ladies, this topic, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my own journey when it comes to journaling. Journaling is becoming more and more common, which is incredible and amazing. But in my years of telling women to journal, of years of telling them the importance of why journaling needs to be like one of the top ways that you show yourself that you love yourself, so many women push back and tell me that they don't know how to journal, or that they don't want to journal, or they don't even know what to begin, or they don't have any prompts, or they can't seem to decide on how to journal for themselves and why it's important. And I thought that I would talk to you all about my own personal journey with journaling and how it has literally changed my life, and everything that I have learned through my own personal journey with journaling and with helping my clients with their journeys. I thought that I would bring this information to you because I'm sure that there is a part of you that loves the idea of journaling. We see all these little fancy journals online, and we're like, oh, maybe you've even bought a few and maybe they're the ones that are like all blinged out. And you're like, nope, this year is the year I'm going to get a journal and I'm going to write in it every day. But as I'm talking to you, you're maybe saying to yourself, yeah, those journals are still sitting on my shelf. We're not going to do something for ourselves until we understand the importance of it, or until it becomes an important part of your life. I want to show women why they should be doing what they're doing. And I want to talk about how I used to be just like you. If you're listening and you're like, I really want to journal, but it's so hard for me. And talk to you about the objections that you may have about journaling. And I'm going to share with you my top 3 things that I've learned and how these top 3 things, and with journaling, how it's literally changed my life. I started my relationship with journaling started back in my 20s. I'm now 40 years old. So journaling started back in my 20s, and it actually started with therapy. It started with therapy where in my marriage, I needed a way to document how I was feeling and what was going on in my marriage. My marriage was very unhealthy. I was very unhappy, and I was feeling isolated and alone. And by having this committed time to myself to be able to journal what is going on, it did bring me some more clarity to where when I went to therapy, I was able to bring out my journal and say, okay, these are the things that happened, or these are the things that I was thinking and feeling. When I fast forward, went through the divorce and went on my journey of rediscovery and starting to love myself again, I never went back to journaling because I thought that journaling was something you only did when you're in therapy or when you're having problems in your life. I didn't realize at the time that journaling could bring joy, could bring clarity. It wasn't until I had this amazing business coach and I had this amazing opportunity with her where we were in Mexico, and she asked for us to bring a journal. And I had a journal, but I only used it in times where I was going through change in my life, where I felt that I needed to kind of sort things out on paper. Are you like that? Where the only time you need to really like sit down with a piece of paper is when you're like, okay, I just need to figure this out. I need to figure out these thoughts. And then you're like, okay, I'm good. And then you walk away from journaling. And that to me was what I was using it for. It wasn't until I actually had a moment to where you just journal to journal, no matter what your thoughts and feelings are going on. You journal when you're happy, and you journal when you're sad, and you journal when you're at a crossroads in your life, and you journal when you're having issues with people, and you journal when you're not having issues with people. Like really opening the door to helping me understand that this journal was an extension of me. That all of my thoughts and all of my feelings, whether they're good days or bad days, that this journal was a representation of me, of all of me, not just the me that's going through growth opportunities, not just the me who's having bad days, not just the me who needs to sort things out on a piece of paper, but the me sometimes that when I sit down and journal every day, the me that says, life is awesome. I'm going to write about that. Or maybe I don't have anything to write today, but I am so grateful for these things in my life. And so I'm going to reflect on that. Because I started to journal again, it allowed me to open up a part of me that I felt that was hidden for so long. The true diving into myself and loving every part of myself. I think as women, we do have a way of running away from ourselves and running away from our pasts. And I'm going to touch on some of that. But this journal was a way for me to reconnect with all of me. This journal was a way, you know how when you need to express yourself and you sit down with a girlfriend and you're like, these are the things that are going on. That is what this journal has turned into for me. It's confirming my thoughts and feelings and affirmations and gratitude. So that's my very, very short Cliff's Notes version of, is that the thing anymore? I don't even know. That is my short version of how journaling was a part of my life and how it's reintroduced. And now I journal almost, I'm not going to lie to you, there are some days where I don't. It's almost every day. Almost every day. Now, I did a little bit of research Journaling actually, before I handle your objections, I'm going to tell you the good stuff first, and then we'll handle those. Journaling helps decrease stress. This has been proven. Journaling will boost your mood. Journaling will keep your memory sharp. Journaling improves your immune function. Do you know that your blood pressure goes down? That you actually can heal faster? This has all been scientifically proven that if you journal 4 times a week at 15 minutes, that these are the benefits, the health benefits of you journaling. Are you convinced yet? Are you convinced? So before I dive into the top 3 reasons, the things that I have learned with journaling and what it has created for me, working with clients and starting the journaling process with them, one of the top reason why women tell me that they cannot journal, there's actually 2. The first reason is that journaling has always been connected or anchored to something negative in their lives. And that goes with same thing as me, right? So this, back in my marriage, it was all this negative energy that was thrown into a journal. And what I encourage my clients to do is to change your relationship with the journaling. You know how they say you can't change the past, but you can change your relationship with it? This is the same thing. Change your relationship with the journaling. Now, if you're listening to this and you're saying, okay, I really want to journal, but I'm afraid that someone might find the journal. So there's a couple of, without diving into that on a much deeper level, I'm just going to cover the surface. First off, if you haven't listened to episode 6 talking about boundaries, you want to go back and listen to that. I'll make sure and put the link in the show notes. That's first. Second, if you're afraid that your journal is going to be discovered, I encourage you to write in that journal that this is literally write in your journal. This is my personal journal. Please do not read it. If that person ends up reading it, then that's not a journal issue. That's not a you issue. That is a much bigger issue. That is a relationship issue. If you are in fear of writing your thoughts and feelings into a journal, of being afraid that it's going to be discovered and read, then you have a much bigger issue than you not being able to journal. In those cases, I highly suggest for you to go to therapy and to talk that out. If a person opens a journal and it literally says in the journal, please do not read, and they read it, then that's a boundary. Then they've overstepped the boundary, right? Also, the more you journal, the more you are expressing yourself, the more you're going to walk into your authenticity. And I know a lot of people love using the word authentic, but you will continue to walk into your own. Eventually, after your 5th or 6th or 7th journal that you've written, you are really being who you are meant to be. You have become the woman that you are meant to be and continuing to grow into that woman. And you won't care if someone discovers your journal, because pretty much everything that you're putting in your journal is pretty much who you are. I feel that with journaling, the more I write, remember how I told you how I felt like it's an extension of me? The more I'm writing about myself, the more I'm becoming myself. So as you're listening, if your fear is that you're afraid that your journal is going to be discovered, I encourage you to sit down with that thought and to figure out why that is. Okay? Now, when we are journaling, we are moving through a space of becoming more of ourselves. We're understanding our thoughts and our feelings. We are giving ourselves our own confirmation. But maybe you're listening to this and you're saying, Kat, I don't even know where to begin when it comes to journaling. Here's the thing, my love. You don't have to know. Let me give you different ways of journaling and different ways that my clients have journaled in the past. There are so many apps that you can download on your phone. Journaling does not mean you have to sit down with a piece of paper and write. Journaling can be video. Journaling can be a voice memo. Journaling can be Microsoft Word or Evernote. Journaling can be an app on your phone. Journaling can be you buy one of those guided journals at your bookstore. It can be any of those things. Do not use the excuse that you don't know where to begin, because you do. You know where to begin. It's that possibly and maybe you're afraid of uncovering something that has been inside of you that has been waiting to come out. Women do have a fear, not just a fear of people discovering your journals, but a fear of what we have been denying, what we have been neglecting and ignoring in ourselves. Because the more you journal, the more you're going to be in touch with this inner woman. And she is going to be so thankful that you are finally taking the time to listen to her. Hello, beautiful. I'm interrupting this broadcast because I have a little something for you. But let me ask you this first. When was the last time you said thank you to a compliment? If you're like me, it took me a long time to be able to say thank you to a compliment, especially when someone says that you're beautiful. I've made it part of my life's mission to tell as many women as possible how beautiful they are. In fact, women don't hear it enough. But the reality is that it doesn't matter how much I tell you. Ultimately, it's up to you to believe you. So I have a little special gift for you. I have a You Are Beautiful sticker that I would love to send to you, the little personal note from me to you. And here's why I'm doing it. You take this sticker and you stick it on the back of your cell phone, you stick it on your review mirror. You can stick it anywhere as that daily reminder that you are beautiful. And I want you to tell it to yourself. Because studies have shown that when we repeat things to ourselves, we actually wrap our brains around it and start believing it. So if you're not going to accept a compliment, I want you to take this sticker and start paying yourself the compliment. So make sure and go to katcantrill.com/you are beautiful and sign up to have your sticker mailed out to you today. Okay, now back to the show. Now, I do have my own journal prompts, and as you're listening to this show, I will let you know that there is going to be a link in the show notes that you can click on, and you can have access to a PDF that you can download of 10 journal prompts that I've used within my own journaling process that I would love to share with you, because I've been in your shoes. And sometimes if you're listening to this, and even though I'm telling you, I know that you know where to begin, maybe you're still in denial and you're like, no, Kat, no, I need to know. I'm more than happy to share that with you. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you my top 3 things that I have learned through journaling and how it's changed my life. First, the first thing that I've learned is that I deserve my own time. When we are taking care of ourselves, we never allow the opportunity to just allow the world to stop for a moment and allow us to sit with ourselves. And not only just sit with ourselves, but also to sit with our own thoughts and feelings. When I started to journal again, I was creating what they call white space. And I teach this to my clients as well. Creating space for you to be able to create. Creating space for you to just be. Creating space for you to express. When I started journaling and giving myself this white space that I so desperately needed in my life, I just didn't realize it. You don't realize it. You don't realize any of these things, ladies, until you actually start going through the process yourself and you're like, oh my gosh. So not only am I creating myself white space, but I'm telling myself that I'm a priority by doing this, that I'm worth my own time by sitting down with myself, like really sitting down with yourself every day. And ladies, it doesn't have to be 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be a huge writing session. It could be something as little as for 5 minutes. Whatever, it could even just be one sentence. In fact, in my 21-day challenge, we talk about journaling. We talk about as this is a necessary step to self-love, and that I tell my clients, just start with one sentence. When you do that actionable item and you sit down with yourself and you say that you are a priority and you're creating some space and you are writing just one sentence, believe it or not, that one sentence turns into 2, turns into 4, turns into 2 paragraphs, can sometimes turn into 3. And my clients, when they start with that one sentence, a couple weeks later, they're like, oh my gosh, I just wrote for 15 minutes and I didn't even realize it. It's because of that white space. It's because you're allowing yourself to think. It's because you're telling yourself that you're a priority. All right, the second thing that journaling has done to help me change my life is that it is helping me sort out my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions. Because when we're going through things in life, they are multi-layered, right? So we're feeling this one emotion. And sometimes we say to ourselves, oh gosh, okay, why am I feeling this emotion? Like, what was the trigger? Why am I feeling this way? And then you go, okay, so this is the emotion. This is what happened today. Why am I feeling this way? So then you even can take it a step further and you keep like unpeeling the layers like an onion, right? And trying to get to that core. Is there a core of an onion? I don't even know. But you know what I'm saying, right? Ladies, like unpeeling your onion. When this was really important for me going through the pandemic of 2020, because I went through so many emotions and I've talked about these with you on the show. I've talked about how I felt like I lost my identity, which is episode 3, by the way, how I felt that I didn't know who I was anymore. And like, why did I feel that way? And it was through journaling that I was able to get to the core of what was going on. And it's not journaling, like I said before, isn't always that way. It just was that way in those moments. And I cherish and I'm so grateful for those moments and to giving myself that space to be able to peel back those layers and really find out, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Okay, the third reason why I feel that journaling changed my life is because it allows me to focus on my future. When I work with my clients, so many women are clueless when it comes to setting goals for their future. So many women are in the day-to-day operations of life and do not make themselves a priority to the point where they're able to say, these are the goals that I want. I'm a firm believer that every woman deserves to have something to look forward to, even if it's just next week. In fact, I guide my clients where if they're in a rut, they're like, I'm finding it so hard to get through every week. I tell them, put something on the calendar, put a goal or put something on the calendar that gives you something to look forward to. It'll help you get through the day-to-day operations of life so much easier. But when I sit down with women and I say, well, where do you see yourself? It's not necessarily like goal setting, like I'm going to do this by this date and I'm going to do this by this date. It's a vision. Like where do you see yourself a year and a half from now? Where do you see yourself 6 months from now? Or how do you want to be feeling about your life 6 months or 12 months or 18 months or 2 years or 5 years from now? Just insert whatever. Do you know how many times women have sat there on a Zoom call with me and they're like, I have no idea. I've never even thought of that. I've never even put myself in that position to where I can go, where do I see myself a year and a half from now? I can barely make it out of bed and make breakfast for the kids, right? It's because we're not making ourselves a priority. It's because we don't understand that we are deserving of those things. A journal allows you to daydream. A journal allows you to kind of create your own vision board with using your words. Vision boards are important, but I do believe you expressing yourself too and throwing it out there and being like, this is how I want to think, and this is how I want to feel, and this is where I envision myself. That is so important. In fact, an affirmation that I started in my journal a year ago that I had no idea what was going to come of it has actually brought me to this show with you. It is because of looking into the future in my journal. It has created the clarity in my life, which has brought me here. Now, there's another important component to this, and I am going to cover this on a future episode. I'm not going to cover it today, which is talking about meditation. I do both together. So when I meditate, part of the vision of meditating is putting myself a year from now, putting myself 2 years from now. Where am I? What am I doing with my life? How am I feeling? How am I thinking? And putting that in the journal is so powerful, ladies. So powerful. So those are the three, and I can name multiple, but I know that I need to make sure that these shows aren't too long, right? But those are my top three of how journaling has changed my life, me personally. I've seen the changes in my clients. I've seen the changes, especially in my one-on-one clients. When I'm working with them and they're doing the journaling work and they come back to me and they tell me these aha moments that they've had, they would have never had those moments if they didn't take the time to sit with themselves and to write those things down. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to do. I know that you might be driving in your car, maybe you're working out, maybe you're going for a walk, maybe you're cleaning your kitchen or you're cooking dinner, or maybe you're just laying in bed, wherever you are. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find a way to journal. I mean this from the bottom of my heart that, why am I getting choked up? This literally will change your life. I promise you. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to find a way to journal. Buy yourself when you want to go and buy a journal, find a journal that resonates with you. Find one that you're really pulled to and gravitate to. That is it's like a representation of what you're going through in your life right now. Buy that. Or voice memo, or app on your phone, or Evernote, or Word, or something. I want you to find a way to journal, and I want you to take a picture of it, and I want you to tag me. You can tag me on Instagram, Kat Cantrill, or The Kat Cantrill Show, because I want to see this. I want you to take this investment in you. I want you to take this step in your journey of falling back in love with yourself. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, after you get your journal, I've created a little PDF for you. If you need journal prompts, and if you want the ones that I've used in my life, make sure and click on the link in the show notes, download the PDF, and start. Now, I have a rule with this. Give yourself grace with this. Do not put rules on yourself. Do it how it feels good to you. This is not fitting it into a box. There is no right or wrong way to do any of this. You just need to take the time and energy to sit with yourself, okay? And use these journal prompts. If you want to take your journaling to a new level, if you want it more than prompts, then you need to join my 21-day challenge. My 21-day self-love challenge starts mid-April. The waitlist is open now. We talk about journaling on a much greater scale. We dive into it. I give you prompts in the 21-day challenge. We talk about it openly to where it'll help you. If this show didn't help you really create clarity of what journaling is, then the 21-day challenge absolutely will. So make sure and click on that link and join the wait list. If anything, just think about the idea for me. Just think and explore about it a little bit more, about how you are deserving of your time, and your inner woman deserves to be heard. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much. The more we get to know each other, the more you're going to realize that this crying thing, it just happens. I just feel so passionate about these topics that I talk about, because not only is it stuff that I've been through in my own life, but it's things that I help my own clients do as well. So ladies, thank you again for being here. I adore you, and I just want you to continue setting your foundation of self-love. All right, ladies, thank you again, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of That Kat Cantrill Show. Will you do me a favor? Will you make sure and subscribe, like, and share this episode with the women in your life who you feel that can benefit from our messaging? And what did you think about today's topic? I would love to know down below. And if you haven't already, go and follow me on social media already, would ya? Go and follow us at The Kat Cantrill Show on Instagram and on Facebook. And as always, if you're interested in my products and services, you can find more information at katcantrill.com. And as a reminder, you are beautiful, you are deserving of your own love, and you are worth your own time and investment. And I'll see you next time. See you. Bye.